Is that fucking God? What the fuck? Oh my God! Oh! Turn the fuck off!
So after surviving my own apocalypse, it is the year 2025. Interesting year for everything to go to shit. Here I am, finally covering a huge mod made by Whiteout and his team of devoted, dedicated, awesome mod authors, some of which I'm actually friends with, like ZealotLee and Veta Phoenix. So, how did I get into this project and why? Well, because of my friends Veta Phoenix and ZealotLee, I was already aware of the Long 15 from various other projects I was in, such as Concord Stories and Fallout Chicago. I was already aware of Whiteout's previous mods, such as Drywell's expansion, or expanded, I could be butchering that name, the expansion mod for Drywells, and I was excited, especially because I don't think any mod ever tried to expand the Long 15 from the Fallout New Vegas lore, and in my first hour of me and Mr. Lee sitting down to make this video and just cover footage of it, I'm amazed. I am baffled, honestly, by the creativity and just the genius of the Whiteout team, or team of Whiteout. Just everything from interactable phone booths.
Oh, bro, what?
Operator, how may I connect your call?
That's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that for Resi Commerce.
One moment.
Oh, they have this
DRC East, how can I help?
I'm calling on behalf of Caravanserai
so
unless
cool.
got scammed.
Caravanserai, you'll need DRC West. I'll connect you.
Dude, this mod is
Department
crazy.
of Roads and Commerce Western Division, how can I help?
On behalf of Caravanserai Eli's turn, he got scammed
You're
and
through the wrong department. You'll need DRC East. Hold on, I'll connect you.
God damn it.
To even like newspaper letterings where you could read actual excerpts of a newspaper.
Out and about? What's up?
Hub Sun, the best weekly newspaper. Oh, that's fucking cool.
Oh shit. This is just like, yeah, holy fuck. Wait. Oh my god, wait a minute.
Bro.
Lee! Whoa! Lee! That's making it in the footage. That's making it in the footage. Oh my god, bro. That's crazy.
It's crazy. And then, of course, just the condensed, packed locations. Of course, the first location I was filming for the sake of one of my voices I did for the NPC in question, I was taken back by how densely populated it felt. It didn't really feel like your typical Bethesda, there's only 20 NPCs in one area and that's supposed to be a full town or even a city. It felt like genuinely a huge condensed area that's been lived in, with every corner and alleyway just populated, packed together into a realistic NCR apocalyptic post-war society. Even like the way that the Long 15, as you're seeing on my screen, does custom assets of their stores, like the Mad Roman, or what it used to be called, and then the Zetten Jerky Shop, or whatever it's called. You'll see it on the screen. It's so intricate, creative, silly, and at the same time, Fallout. Like, it is definitely, to the science, in my opinion, a true Fallout design. From the location, the assets, the visuals, the aesthetic, the dialogue. It's so packed with this political depth, but also self-aware humor. And that's where I come in as Joseph Banks, the first NPC I'm going to cover from really the first location you come across in the Long 15.
Oh, I think that's him. Literally, that's him.
He doesn't have a beard.
Do you believe that fucking guy? The Mad Roman? Who does he think he is?
Hi?
Sorry, I'm Sergeant Banks. I mean, Joseph. Call me Joseph. I keep forgetting I'm not on duty.
are you talking about?
Agostino is the sleazebag in the Greek restaurant. Someone should put him on a cross. See how he likes it. All the troopers are boycotting his business until he drops the Roman bullshit.
That makes more sense now, yeah. I'm glad they're self-aware about it. He must have started it back before the war. Why are you so angry?
Yeah.
I just came back from risking my life, watching my friends get torn to pieces for 6 months on the front line.
Oh, you're rotating.
Just to see dumbasses who have never seen the Legion turning them into damn cartoons. He's making a mockery of everything we've been fighting for.
How can I help?
If you want to help, you should help me whack that owner.
The fuck does that mean?
Fucking yeah, this guy's an idiot. He's insensitive to what I've been going through. I want him dead. And what the fuck, dude?
So when voicing Joseph Banks, you probably could catch on that my voice for him is similar to another character you might know me for, someone like this. But rather than taking this growl here, you're gonna want to assert from the same register of voice this authoritative degree, angry man that's from the front lines of the Mojave Desert. That's Joseph Banks. So if it would help in learning how to do Joseph Banks' voice, I recommend checking up on the Val Serrano videos, because it's going to be relying on a lot of the same techniques there, but just, using more vocal weight and, jutting your chin out like a square head, like your Minecraft Steve. So when covering Joseph Banks and his personality, I was told with a lengthy but helpful Google Doc of how to do his voice. It had everything written there about his personality, his quirks, everything, and of course, annotative direction of where to take his voice, and obviously improv about my touch and the tone I wanted to take with it. So with Joseph Banks, I kind of figured that to get into the headspace of someone who is an NCR soldier that just is from momentary leave, and he is so psychotic and homicidal, he wants to kill someone over, honestly, being an insensitive douchebag with the Mad Roman restaurant. I figure a very tense man was needed for obvious reasons. So the voice I kind of picked for Joseph Banks is like I talked about, this intense voice, authoritative, but even more angrier, Roman bullshit. You have to give it some grit, because he's just always vein and neck, just, oh god, I hate this, that son of a bitch next door, and then that Zeta jerky shop. It's just silly. It's like the most over-the-top, literally bulging from the throat. Like, I actually have veins popping out of my throat when I do the voice for Joseph Banks, and my head gets so red, I feel like my forehead's pulsating when I do the voice.
Motherfucker! Oh shit! God damn it! Same shit, different day!
Of course, as you could tell between the showcase I did and what I just did there, it's a little less. You have to withdraw a little bit. Take yourself down a notch. So get to the most extreme form of what I just did, and then go like maybe a couple steps down, and that's Joseph Banks. Because Joseph Banks isn't like a comedy character. He is ridiculous for trying to get the player to kill someone for something he's offended by. But the reasons and motives are definitely trauma related. It's very easy to be in the shoes of someone if you've seen people die on the front lines who wear Roman skirts and makeshift Roman attire, and then you come back home just for temporary leave to be on vacation, and then what do you see across the street? You see the Mad Roman, right? You see someone making a mockery of the people that died in front of you. It's a very triggering experience. And in a way, it's only ridiculous on the surface, but the more you think about it, the more you get it, the more you understand how he got there. And that, to me, if you think about it, is the epitome of Fallout. Taking something that is so drenched in despair and tragedy and moral gray, while hyper exaggerating the extremes of it to where it is cartoonish. It is like silly, and it is a form of dark comedy, right? A great example of this that I think this reminds me of a lot is Boone from Fallout New Vegas, the vanilla game. Because, of course, Boone has a very dark backstory, very dark struggle with what he did and everything he had to do as a NCR recon sniper. But also on top of that, if you really think about the quest that you take Boone on to get him as a companion, you could just do the classic bring out people to get their head blown the fuck off smooth, and it is quite hilarious in a mechanical gameplay. Also, just try explaining Boone mechanically to anyone who hasn't played Fallout. Oh, hey, so I just picked up Fallout, and I took this guy, I got, like, some old granny's head blown off, because I guess she's such an evil bitch that she, like, sold his pregnant wife to slavery. Well, anyway, I'm trying to go far out east, and there's a bunch of, like, Roman LARPers that he said that if I go anywhere near them, if I even try to figure out what they're about, he's just gonna start doming them. Well, what do I do about that? Oh, you just deal with it. Do I really have to do that? Yeah. But he's just gonna make it basically impossible for me to even do certain quests. Yeah. Yeah, he hates them that much. Wait, well, hold on. Just so I'm clear. Those Roman LARPers are the slavers that took his wife, right? Yeah. His life was ruined by a bunch of people that wear costumes and LARP and skirts, that they're from the old Roman Empire. Yeah. What the fuck is this game? So yeah, that to me is what I think Fallout intentionally should always be. Something that when you're immersed into it, it's beautiful and very nuanced, but when you're explaining it to someone that has never played a Fallout game, it sounds like the most stupidest thing on the planet. Something ridiculous, silly, just batshit, like you're on drugs. So that's all I could glean from the first hour as of recording this, how I feel about the Long 15. There is a lot to be hyped about, and while I just sat there with Mr. Lee to cover footage to procure, I think in general, the devs over at the Long 15 project did a fantastic job. I am so easily immersed by all the cool features they added to the Fallout New Vegas world, like readable newspapers and using a phone booth. I think it's just cool. There's so many cool things to have. And if nothing else, I definitely think it will be a time killer for anyone wanting to just throw their hours away to a huge, expansive mod with a lot of interesting and neat ideas to approach. In fact, rather than just have me yap about it, I'm going to ask the people directly how they got to that point. Starting with, of course, the man of the hour, Whiteout.
So what is the goal of Long 15? The goal of the Long 15 is to allow players to enter new California territory and see what it's like living under a semi-functional government within the Fallout universe. We want this mod to feel familiar, but also new to New Vegas players. So we want to provide a lot of the same types of quests with choices and consequences, but also with a new twist, being the problems and groups within that large faction, rather than New Vegas, where you have multiple competing large factions fighting each other. So we also want to give players about 20 total hours of content with 4 main endings. Now keep in mind that's total, so each playthrough is somewhere between 9 and 12 hours if you try to do everything. But the long and short of it is we just want to create more New Vegas. We want it to feel like the game is bigger, like you're just stepping into, a new area for sure, but still an extension of the same game. We don't want it to be jarring. We don't want it to feel very different. from a vanilla game. The biggest thing we had to learn for this project is how to work as a team. Drywalls was mostly a solo project. It was just myself, and then Cypher, Neo Cypher did a lot of the audio editing, and then I had a bit of like bug fixing and help from Alaska. So where that was mostly a solo project, it meant that any idea I had was basically fair game, as long as it fit within the lore and it was something that I could at least learn how to do. For this project, we wanted it to feel like it was, at the same quality as New Vegas. So that meant, rethinking how assets are placed, doing multiple iterations of textures and meshes to make sure they weren't just good, but they also look like they belong within the game itself. I'd say we learned a lot of great lessons on how to manage something this large, both between creating a bunch of new assets and with that challenge of a much larger map size. So speaking of challenges, one major challenge with the Long 15 was how to make gameplay engaging without having like tons of random raiders and nameless enemies all over the map. Because the road here, the Long 15, is supposed to be safe and well patrolled by the NCR, which sounds nice to walk in, but it can quickly get boring without any major conflicts. So we had to make sure people had plenty of things to shoot, and also make those situations believable in a way that isn't contradictory to the NCR and how they operate. So kind of like giving folks something to do within the faction, because NCR is supposed to be a relatively stable government. The other large challenge, which you'll hear with any major project, is scope creep. So we decided to keep our writing team extremely small. Well over 90% of our mod was written between Alaska or myself. And it's so tempting to like add on forever and just keep adding on to the mod because, those ideas just start flowing and they just don't stop. So we had to set a finish line and stick to it. In some ways we did. In other ways, we're still learning how to do that. But I do think Long 15 is special in that we didn't just keep expanding forever. We got to where we wanted to go, and we finally said, we're done, pens down. And I think that's something that a lot of larger modding projects have not been able to do. So it's something I'm pretty proud of. So what makes Fallout can be hard to describe, but it's a feeling that I think almost every player has experienced. When I think of Fallout, I look back on stepping out of Vault 101 in Fallout 3, or out of Doc Mitchell's house in Good Springs. It's kind of like an intangible feeling of, wow, I'm stepping into this wasteland, this like hellscape, but around any corner there could be, a town of interesting people or a new quest that really grabs me by surprise and holds on to me. Fallout to me is most special when it can trick me into thinking I'm one person living in that wasteland, and that wasteland will continue on with or without me. So, I like being a part of the story, but sometimes Fallout doesn't always give you that power fantasy of like, right from the beginning of the game, you're the chosen one. It's not always like that. A lot of times it feels like the world is bigger than just you, and I like that. So some advice I'd give to other modders, especially those who want to do like quests or DLC sized expansions, is actually to start small first. Try to create a world space, like a small one, yourself. Try to add quests by yourself. Try to add dialogue by yourself. Or, at the very most with a team of 2 or 3 people. Because at some point, you're probably going to have to, especially as a team lead, you're going to have to do things that you don't know how to do. And having those skills ahead of time is going to be really helpful. But yeah, I would say start with a small world space with like a couple quests. Don't try to expand the map into some huge expansion if you've never made a mod before or you don't have a team, because it's just, you're going to burn out. It's just going to be too much work. So I would say start small, make something high quality, and people will want to be a part of your next project once they see that. Then from there, you can scale up and start to build something larger. But, you know, although I'll still warn not to go too big, because you'd rather have the player say, you know, wow, that was so great, I wish there was more. That's a lot better reaction than, you know, man, this map is just so big, but it's so empty. You know, this team should have focused more on like what they're good at rather than trying to do everything. My other advice to modders is to work on your project every day. Now, that doesn't mean like burnout, but I think the hardest part is you have to have discipline to finish something this big. And a lot of people would probably, you know, argue the exact opposite of that, and totally fair. I would say that you have to do something every day though, because you want to feel like you're moving towards that finish line. So even if all you can do is take 5 minutes to like jot down some notes you've been brainstorming, or, you know, write one character, or, you know, add a couple decorations to a building, it's very often that I will start working on something for 10 minutes and then an idea will pop into my head and the inspiration will pop into my head and I just start flowing. You know, you get into that flow state and then you're just really creating. It's an awesome feeling. It's a good question. So after we finish Long 15 and release it, and you know, we're thinking about our future projects, I would love to keep making mods in the future. I don't know if I'll make anything as large as Long 15 again, at least not for a long time. Something closer to the size of Drywells is, you know, more definitively like a mini DLC, I think is a bit more up my alley. I've been considering making something like a Great Cons mod, and now with our team, we could totally make something awesome with a lot of new assets and a new world space. But, you know, on second thought, with how intertwined they are with the main story, our other thought is to maybe make something completely separate from the Mojave. So, you know, a mini DLC somewhere else. Obviously, I'd love to make mods for a future Fallout game, but it's really up in the air when or if that will, you know, come to fruition and we'll have another Fallout that we can add to. So yeah, I'm really excited for this project. It releases December 12th. If you're watching this video, it probably is already out, so please go play it and let us know what you think. We're super excited to share it with you all. It's been a massive passion project. I would say probably close to 10,000 hours, work hours has been put into it. And that's just, you know, insane to say because we started it last September and now going into December, that's what, 15 months? It's it's really insane to think about how fast this has been developed. But I think that speaks to our skill and our dedication and, you know, a lot of the talent of the team members that we have here. So yeah, really hope y'all like it, and thanks Crimson for having us, and also thanks for doing an awesome job on the characters you voiced, both Snow and Joseph Banks. You did an amazing job. Appreciate it.
And with that said, I think that wraps up our video for how I voiced an NCR soldier in Fallout New Vegas, and more accurately, for the big, expansive mod, the Long 15. I could go over more voices I did for the mod, but this time, I want to have you guys experience all of what I voiced in its beauty of such a mod like the Long 15. I truly believe that of all the projects I've done this year and years prior, the Long 15 is going to be one of the biggest mods to be talked about. And hopefully for good. But from what I can tell you from my experiences, it's a great mod made by great people. And I truly believe that at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for with free content. That whatever you play, you know it was made by people with love and passion in their hearts, trying to express themselves and express a love that they have for the franchise that you mod and play. So, as you play the long 15 and you go down that long road, I hope, at the very least, you had a good day.